Hi everyone, my name is Rachel Branning. I'm a reporter with ABC 13 News. I interviewed Michael Lee Perry III, who's charged in the murder of his estranged wife, Averils Hooks. Perry's currently in jail, so I wasn't able to record him on camera. This interview happened over the phone. Here's the full interview. Hi Michael, how are you?
As best as I can be, considering the circumstances.
Yeah, I'm sure.
How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you so much for reaching out to us and for being interested in talking with us. We really appreciate you reaching out and wanting to share your story. So, again, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So, first off, I just wanted to check in with you. Is there any, kind of time frame we have for this call? Is there only a certain amount of time we're going to be able to speak for?
So, yes, I've been on the phone for 5 minutes, well, I think like 4 minutes. I only get 15 minutes per call, so I have to call back. But, we do like 2 15-minute calls if that, like, however long the interview needs to be.
Yeah, that would work. I just wanted to check in with you so I kind of had an idea.
Okay.
Well, we can just jump right into it if you're okay with that, and we can just get started.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So, very first question we always have to ask, for the record, is I'll have you say and spell your first and your last name for me.
All right. My first name is Michael, Michael. My last name is Perry the Third, Perry the Third.
Okay. So first, Michael, I'll have you just talk to me a little bit about your relationship with Averil, the victim in this case. I know that you two were married at one point. Talk to me a little bit about your relationship with her.
So we were together for 2 years before we got married, and we had a very good relationship. We were like best friends, and like she was my world. She still is my world. I miss her, and we met through like Facebook, but I remember we were just friends at first, and then we eventually I asked her parents for permission if we could start dating and stuff. And we started dating, and we were pretty much inseparable.
And you ended up even getting married at one point, right? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. We ended up getting married. Our son, he was she was 2 or 3 months pregnant with him, and we decided that we wanted to get married because we really love each other, and we eventually have more children. So we ended up getting married, and we ended up having our son, and we named him Michael Perry the Fourth, and he has her grandfather's middle name.
And so I know there's been a lot of talk as this case has kind of moved. People are saying that the relationship was rocky, but you don't feel that way?
I mean, every relationship has its problems, especially when you're married. My wife has always had a tough life, and she didn't know how to express herself sometimes in a positive way, so sometimes it would be negative, but we always worked on it. Always encouraged her to take her medications, and just encouraged her to go to therapy, stuff like that. And we even talked about like doing therapy together. But like if ever there was an incident, it was never like me being abusive or me being like a domestic violence abuser. Like her mom tried to make it seem like during the interview. Like I was never a primary aggressor or like a woman abuser or anything like that. Like, was never anything like she tried to make it seem. And then like if ever there was an incident where the police were called and it was late at night, it was because like we were arguing over me working a lot and me having to get up and go to work the next day, and her wanting me to spend more time with her and our son. And I'd like try to explain it to her, like like I have to go to work because I have to pay the bills, things like that. And like, sometimes there would be arguments, like, and sometimes she would get upset and she would put her hands on me, but it was never like me putting my hands on her. Like that's a completely false narrative.
Okay. So you're saying it was perpetuated by her, is how you believe it?
Yeah.
And I know that there was an emergency protective order taken out by Averil. Talk to me a little bit about what led up to that and kind of how you were feeling in those moments.
Yeah, so the protective order, it happened over the incident that happened on July 4th. I had to get up and I had to go to work the next day. Everything was going good. We were like laughing, having fun. Our son was in his walker, moving around, playing with his toys. Everything was going good, and then like we were even outside cooking on the grill. But when it got to like 7 o'clock, and I was like, all right, she said she wanted to watch a movie, so I was like, all right, we can do that. And then I explained to her like I have to go to bed early because I have to get up and go to work the next day. And she got upset about that. And she was like you're always working. Like, why can't you just call out? And I was like, because like I really like this job, and I don't want to end up getting fired, because I had actually called out a few times before that to spend time with her. And she ended up getting upset, and I ended up picking our son up. And I picked him up. She got mad, and she told me to put him, like, give him to her. And I was like, he's my son too. Why can't I hold him? And she was like give me my son. I was like, no. I stood there, and she ended up hitting me and punching me, and she ended up grabbing me, holding on to me, and then I ended up giving the baby to her. When I gave the baby to her, she's like, Averil is always, and like everyone goes through things in life, but she's had a very, very, very tough life. So she's always had things like trauma, mental health problems, things like that. So she got upset and she got mad, and she ended up like hitting her arm, almost dropping the baby, and just like having one of her mental health episodes. And when that happened, I think either I called her mom or she called her mom, and she ended up saying something like, I think you should come over here, it's getting bad, or something. I think her mom ended up coming over there, but the police ended up getting called. The police came, they came in the house, and it seemed like it was trash because she had thrown like everything everywhere and thrown my work stuff outside and like just like trash everything. And then they ended up questioning me. They took me outside, they questioned me, they seen all the marks that I had on me. They ended up questioning her, and then they seen like how she had like bruises on her back from when she was leaning back and forth rapidly against the desk that we had in the living room, and the baby had a mark on his chest from where she had grabbed him, I believe he had a mark on his head as well, like from when she had like jerked him, and there was like took pictures. I think it took pictures of that, and they turned around and they were like, well, we don't know who the aggressor was, but they said that they know that I wasn't the primary aggressor, but they can't say that she was the aggressor, even though I had tried to explain it to them. I had I don't understand how they didn't list that as that on the police report, but they basically just said all we can recommend is getting a protective order and giving you guys some space and some time to cool down, and that's how the protective order ended up getting filed. But
you have 1 minute remaining.
That's 1 minute remaining.
Okay. Yeah, I guess just give me a call back. I don't know if we have time even for one more question. If you just give me a call back after this, we can continue this.
All right, yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. Thank you, Michael.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, so we're, what was the next question you were going to say?
Yes. So I think next, we were just talking about the protective order. I think my next question was, you believe that you weren't the aggressor in these situations. Did you ever react violently when you say Averil punched or hit you?
No, I kind of just stood there. Like, I didn't want her to, like, honestly, I was worried about the baby. I didn't want her to drop him or, like, him to end up getting hurt from me trying to just defend myself. So I ended up standing there, like, I'm pretty sure, like, the police and they came, like, they seen how my shirt was ripped. I had marks on my collarbone area, my chest, all that, and like they seen that they were pretty much defense wounds. I think they had like a couple of scratches on my face, but in no way did I sit there and like punch her back or like do anything. I just stood there.
Yeah. And did it get aggressive like that often, or was that kind of just a one-time occurrence?
So, yeah, if you knew my wife, you know that she's a very, very free spirit. It happened a couple of times.
And so I think we're going to jump a little bit forward. Talk to me a little bit about August, the night that she went missing. From your perspective, what happened that night? Where were you? What were you doing?
So I will say this. I will explain all of that when I go to trial, and I'm going to testify. There's no way that I'm not going to testify. I have to. I can't let this narrative go unaddressed. I'd like to respond to that. I'd like to say this. Speak your truth. Those 3 words have been on my mind for the last 19 months, more than 500 days. Those 3 words resonate deep in my soul. I'm doing this interview to speak my truth because this false narrative must not go unaddressed. Doing a news special titled Voices Against Domestic Violence and accusing me of being a domestic violence abuser and claiming my wife is a victim of domestic violence is not only false, it is also wrong and extremely prejudicial pre-trial publicity. My wife and I love each other very much. We love our son even more. I did not murder my wife, yet every time I go to court, media headlines label me as a quote-unquote homicide suspect or a quote-unquote murder suspect, even though the medical examiner has labeled my wife's cause and manner of death as undetermined. Please think about that for a second. That's a very big deal. Yet it's not spoken about. Lynchburg Police Detective Chad Davis violated my rights when I unequivocally invoked my right to counsel, yet the media does not mention it. Based on misconduct of police and prosecutors over the withholding of evidence from the defense, impeding the effective use of evidence in such a way that it impacts the fundamental fairness of the proceedings, and this conduct of destroying evidence and violating the constitutional rights of the defendant does not rise to the level of bad faith, it certainly comes so near to bad faith to show signs of scorching. Any narrative that adjudicates me guilty of criminal conduct is a violation of my due process right. I'm innocent. I look forward to going to trial in May and proving it. And I want the world to know that not a day goes by without me thinking about my wife and our son. Not a day goes by without me missing them both. I will always love you both. I will always fight to prove my innocence and be there for our son, Michael, and do the best part he deserves. I hope to see my family and friends at trial May 19th. I'm anxious to explain what happened and clear my name. The truth will always win. My name is Michael Perry III, and I encourage anyone going through a similar situation to always speak your truth.
And you've maintained your innocence from the beginning. This is something that I know that you wanted a much quicker trial than you've now been given. It's been 19 months, like you said. How eager are you to get to trial and to try to clear your name?
I'm extremely eager. I really, really want everyone to know what happened. And I know if I would have explained what happened from the beginning, I wouldn't even be sitting in jail right now. But everyone reacts differently to certain situations, and my reaction was different. My reaction was different from a reaction that somebody else probably would have had, given the things that I've been through in life and given the circumstances of what was going on. But like I said, when I'm extremely eager to get a child, I don't know if my wife was even buried or cremated. I don't know any of that. I haven't seen my son. I haven't seen our son in 19 months, more than 575 days. Like, I really miss them both, and I'm very, very, very anxious to get to trial and explain what happened, so there's no speculation or guesses as to what happened or what went on, because I was there and I know what happened. So just very, very, very anxious. I wish I could go tomorrow if it were possible.
And you mentioned that the medical examiner did determine her cause of death as undetermined. What do you believe happened? Do you believe she was murdered, or do you think it was another sort of situation?
It was another situation. She wasn't murdered. She was not murdered. And that's, like I said, if I would have explained what happened from the beginning, I wouldn't even be sitting in jail right now. But my reaction was different. But I'm gonna explain it all when I go to trial. But she was not murdered. There no in a situation like this, if someone's murdered, you would expect to find traces of that, you know what I mean, evidence of that. There would be defense wounds, bruises, DNA under fingernails from fighting. You'd expect to see things like that, but there's none of that. There's absolutely none of that, and there's a reason why. And when I go to trial, I'm gonna explain everything, and I'm gonna start from the beginning. I'm gonna explain what happened.
And I don't know if this is something that you're gonna discuss in trial, but I know a lot of people have wondered, why is it that you had your son with you the night or the next day? I know that folks are saying that you weren't supposed to have him. Is that the case? And why did you have little Michael with you?
Okay, so going back to July 17th, we went to court for a protective order that my wife, and it's weird because we were communicating. She told me that she wasn't gonna get the protective order. She told me she was scared because Zoe Haynes from CPS had told her if she did not get the protective order extended, that they were going to take our son from her. She told me that she was scared of that. Then she told me that they had told her if she didn't get the protective order, she was going to lose custody. Then when we actually ended up going into court, she told me that she was going to tell the judge and like everybody what happened. Ended up going back on that, but I had actually like recorded conversations of us where she said, and I actually had a purple folder that had like posted it where she was posting because she didn't want to message me because the protective order was in place and she didn't want to be like found violating it. So she was like, I know I wasn't abused and I know that you didn't like beat me and things like that. And I had screenshotted all of them because I wanted to have some evidence of like of her stating that and proving that. I screenshotted it, I printed them off in color, and I had them put in a purple manila folder. Detective Chad Davis, when he searched my house, he took it and destroyed it. I've asked for it multiple times. It's backed up on my iPhone. They can't get into my iPhone because I have an alphanumeric code. And they're saying they don't know where it is, but I have the backup proof on there. So when we went in there, I explained to Judge, it was either Judge Still or Judge Ayers, what happened July 4th. I explained the whole entire incident to her. I explained after the fact when CPS got involved, when they came and they questioned me. I explained what they asked me to do. I did everything that they had asked me to do. I explained that I am not a woman beater. I am not a domestic abuser. I have never ever put my hands on a female or beat my wife. I explained all of that to her in court, and she dropped the protective order. And she said, this is like, she looked at my wife and she looked at the CPS woman, Zoe Haynes. She said, you should be ashamed of yourself for coming in here and trying to get this protective order continued. Like he actually did something and he didn't do anything. And then I even had a voice recording of her like saying, I forget what she said, something on the voice recording in court, and I had showed that to the judge as well. But she said, like, you know, I'm dropping this, and then she explained that I was charged with violating the protective order, and she just heard about it today, so she arraigned me on it, so I didn't have to get arrested or like a bond hearing or anything like that, and she released me on my own recognizance. And she said, I believe that that's going to be dropped as well because I just abolished the protective order today. And then when we left and walked outside, I remember I had tears in my eyes because I was crying. Like it was a lot to go through. And then I got to hold my son. My wife, her mother, and Zoe Haynes were in the room and they were talking. And they came out. They came over to me, and Zoe Haynes said, "Look, I have this." It was some sort of like family plan or some sort of like agreement thing that she had just wrote up. She said, she wrote on it, she said, Michael Perry agrees to have supervised visitation, such and such, and Averils Hooks agrees that she will take her medication and go to therapy. And it was, I think it was like one more stipulation on there, but I ended up signing it. I didn't have to sign it. I just ended up signing it, honestly, because I was just like why? I guess like why not? I guess but thinking back on it, it was a stupid decision because if I would have never signed that, I would have never had to do supervised visitation in the first place. Like it was like almost like being like almost like set up because she knew what she was doing. Like I mean, that was the only reason why I had to do supervised visitation. Then I ended up like asking them why I had to do supervised visitation. They said, because on the police report from July 4th, you were deemed to be the primary aggressor. So I asked them if they could send it to me. She said, no, we can't send it to you for, like, it was an excuse. She just gave me an excuse. So I was like, okay. So I called the Lynchburg Police Department information desk, and I asked them to have the police officer who wrote the report to contact me and read the report to me. He contacted me, and he read the report to me, and I recorded that. Everything that he said, I was like, because they said that the reason why I have to do supervised visitation is because I was deemed to be the primary aggressor on July 4th. He said, what? He said, no. He said, I'll read it to you. And
you have 1 minute remaining.
And he read the entire report, and like they were literally lying and just giving me any excuse in the world to have to do supervised visitation.
And so that, because of that contract, I guess, that you signed, that's why they say that you shouldn't have had little Michael?
Yeah, that's literally the only reason why. But my wife had actually wanted me to have our son because we were communicating and we were working through our problems. She wanted me to have him, but like it's, the whole narrative of me not supposed to be around him, like I don't even understand it, honestly.
Right. It all seems like it came from her family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And I think that this call's about to
Yeah,
end. Do you have time for...
Thank you for using
Yep.
Global Tellink.
Hello?
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 Okay, I think I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So, I know that you don't want to speak on what happened that night. That'll come out at trial. Are you willing to speak on kind of what your last interaction with Avril was like, or the days leading up to the day she went missing?
That is something that's like tied into that, and I don't want to say anything that could possibly be used against me, but I mean, I don't honestly feel like there is anything that can be used against me because I just need to explain it at trial. But our interactions leading up to her passing away was like, it was good. We were talking about actually flowers that she wanted from Catherine's flower shop, and like talking about like a ring, a wedding ring that she wanted. She was sending me pictures of our son. He was sitting on the couch, and was smiling, and she was happy. She was actually happy.
Mm-hmm. And I know the days following her passing must have been very hard. I know you were posting on Facebook saying your wife was missing. There were search parties for her. What were you feeling in those moments?
Like sad, extremely overwhelmingly sad, like a failure, honestly. Like I couldn't do enough. I couldn't save her. Like there's a lot. Like if I could like cross the stars or do something to bring her back or to keep her in my life, I would, because that's how much she meant to me. That's how much we meant to each other. And I don't want my son to grow up thinking that I murdered his mother. I don't want him to grow up thinking that I'm a monster, that like everyone is trying to make me seem and make me look like some sort of like monster. Like I want everyone to know the truth. And May 19th is gonna be when everyone knows the truth. And I believe I'm gonna be acquitted. I believe I'm not gonna be found guilty of anything, but I just need to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell the truth.
And I know that this trial has been a really, really long time coming. Even months and months and months ago, you were trying to hurry it along while the judge was telling you to be patient. What have you been thinking this whole time while you're behind bars, but you believe that you should be a free man?
Speak your truth. Those 3 words, speak your truth. Like, the truth shall set you free. Like I really wish I could go back in time and just from the beginning explain what happened. That was just, I wish I could have saved her. I wish I could have done more.
Do you have?
I feel like,
Sorry, keep going.
I was just gonna say, I feel like being here and being with my son and not being able to be there for him and like just love him, like just love him like he deserves to have from both me and his mom. You know, like be the best father he deserves. Like be you know, be a good dad. I just really wish I could be there for my son, because this is like, there's gonna be all these different, you know, people saying all these different things when he grows up, and I just want him to know the truth. I don't want him to believe a narrative that's not true, and to believe like the whole like narrative that I murdered his mom. Like, I want him to know the truth. That's all that matters to me.
And do you have any message for him or to your family or even to Averils' family that you'd like us to share during this?
Yeah, I will always be there for you, son. I love you. Like I said, I'm sorry that I didn't explain what happened from the beginning. And if I could change it, I would go back and I would say it. But I'll read this one more time. Speak your truth. Those 3 words have been on my mind for the last 19 months, more than 500 days. Those 3 words resonate deep in my soul. I'm doing this interview to speak my truth because this false narrative must not go unaddressed. Doing the news special titled Voices Against Domestic Violence and accusing me of being a domestic violence abuser and claiming my wife is a victim of domestic violence is not only false, it is also wrong and extremely prejudicial pre-child publicity. My wife and I love each other very much. We love our son even more. I did not murder my wife, yet every time I go to court, media headlines label me a quote-unquote homicide suspect or a quote-unquote murder suspect, even though the medical examiner has labeled my wife's cause and manner of death undetermined. Please think about that for a second. That's a very big deal, but it's not spoken about. Lynchburg Police Detective Chad Davis violated my rights when I unequivocally invoked my right to counsel, but the media does not mention it. Based on misconduct of police and prosecutors over the withholding of evidence from the defense, impeding the effective use of evidence in such a way that it impacts the fundamental fairness of the proceedings, if this conduct of destroying evidence and violating the constitutional rights of the defendant does not rise to the level of bad faith, it certainly comes so near to bad faith to show signs of scorching. Any narrative that adjudicates me guilty of criminal conduct is a violation of my due process right. I'm innocent. I look forward to going to trial and proving it May 19th. And I want the world to know that not a day goes by without me thinking about my wife and our son. Not a day goes by without me missing them both. I will always love you both, and I'll always fight to prove my innocence and be there for our son Michael and be the best pa he deserves. I hope to see my family and friends at trial May 19th. I'm anxious to explain what happened and clear my name. The truth will always win. My name is Michael Perry III, and I encourage anyone going through a similar situation to always speak your truth.
And you've said that following May 19th, you believe that you'll be acquitted at the end of this jury trial.
Yeah.
What would that feel like for you?
It still feel like a loss because I don't. My son is not gonna have his mom. Like, I'm not gonna have my wife. It's gonna feel like a loss either way. It's not gonna feel like a win at all. I'm still, I pretty much feel like I lost either way it goes. I really miss her. I really miss her. I would do anything to be able to have her back in our lives again. I really miss her.
Because even though you guys would bicker, there was love. You loved each other.
Yeah. We genuinely love each other.
Well, is there anything, Michael, that we haven't talked about just yet that you feel is important for me to include in this?
I don't think so, honestly. I really just can't wait to go to trial. I cannot wait to go to trial.
Yeah. And I think it's set for, right now, 3 to 4 days, so it'll be long, but it'll be, I'm sure, worth it in the end. I'll also be there, so we'll be covering it and sharing the rest of your story that you weren't able to share today. So.
All right.
And this story is going to air in April. I'm not exactly sure the date right now, but I can let Markel know as soon as I know. It'll be mid-ish April. They just are giving me a little bit more time to kind of put everything together. But just wanted to let you know that you can be expecting it then.
Okay.
And
all right. Yeah, please let them know.
Yeah, I will. And if there's anything between now and then that you think of and you think it's important for us to include, let him know. And I'm always willing to hop on another call. So, yeah, if there's anything at all that comes up, just let us know.
All right.
You guys plan to
all right. Thank you for listening to my story.
Yeah, of course. And just one last question. You do plan to testify, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I will.
Okay. Well, thank you for being so willing to share your story with us. Thank you again for reaching out and letting us know that you'd be interested in doing an interview. This is something that that we're really glad to get to help you share. So thank you for reaching out, and I guess I'll be seeing you May 19th.
Yep. All right.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Have a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch more videos from ABC 13 WSET.